Hi guys, this is Plate Gamer. This video I'm doing as a response to many of the comments that went on a video I made back in July 2014 entitled G2A sold me fake/stolen's product key. That video over Christmas became very popular and now at this point in April when I'm recording this has over 10,000 views. I think a lot of this, judging by many of the comments, a lot of the reason why the video has had so many views, especially from sort of September, October onwards, kind of that Christmas rush, is because there was a lot of problems with Far Cry 4, with people buying from G2A.com. Which they had the same problems I had. Now, and let me just explain what happened after I made that video. That video was made in July. I bought the game April, May. Titanfall was the game I bought from G2A. I played it. I had several hours play on it. And then I didn't play it for a month or two. Admittedly, I played it probably like April, May, because I think I bought it towards the end of April, May, and then didn't play it for a good couple of months. So it's July 31st I put this video out, which I put it out the same day I played it. The same day I was dealing with what was going on. So admittedly, it's a couple of months. I didn't notice. I didn't spot on my Origin account when I was playing like Battlefield 4 or whatever. I didn't notice on the Origin account that Titanfall had disappeared from my account. But regardless, when I went to G2A, their response was, well, "We need proof that this game doesn't work. That you haven't got this game." So I went to Origin on their live chat and told them the situation, and they said, "What do you need from me?" And I said, "I just need in writing from you that this game was revoked because it was an invalid key." And they, "Right, fine, no problem." And they sorted that out for me, and I had that in writing to send to G2A. I sent it to them. Took them ages. No response for ages from them, like a week. Just over a week. I got back in touch with them and said, "Hey, what's happening?" And they said, "Oh, we're still looking into it." Waiting another week. And a little bit of back and forth, me saying, "Hey, look, I'm not really happy about this. You're quite happy to take my money. Now it's all gone wrong. You don't want to refund my money. What's going on here?" And they said, eventually, I turned around and said, "Hey, look, you have a responsibility as a retailer. Give my money back. Otherwise, we're going to take this down the legal route." And then they played the, "Oh, well, I've passed it on to the right department. They should be handling it." And my response was, "Get your backside into that office, go and ask them now," which is more or less how I put it. And then I got a response, an email ticket response, within about half an hour or so, and they said, "Oh, well, they've just checked it. It's going through. You should get it in the next couple of days." And I did in September, almost August. So it's like 2 months. No, almost October. I don't know which way the year goes. I'm going backwards. Almost October. Then I got my refund. So I was happy. I got the money back. That's fine. What I'm not happy with is the fact that it was proved to them on the July 31st. That's when they asked for it. Origin answered and everything, all in the same day while I was more or less uploading that video. The Origin were like, "Yeah, really sorry about that. It's not their fault. It's not their problem. They didn't do anything." But they said, "Here's a 15% discount on your next purchase through Origin." 15% discount on your next purchase through Origin when they didn't do a damn thing wrong. That, my friends, that is customer service for you. G2A, Took 2 months to deal with my issue. Now, let's go on to the responsibility of G2A and the purchasers and the fact that they're a middleman, etc., etc. G2A are a site that is kind of like the digital key version of eBay or Amazon. Yes, they are, absolutely. And therefore, the products you buy are not necessarily directly from G2A, although they do have their own stuff that they sell. A lot of the times, the cheaper stuff you will get from G2A site is not from G2A directly, it's from a seller, a person, an individual selling these products. And those are the ones that are very dangerous. Those are the ones that they're probably from humble bundles where they're trying to scam. They get these keys, and I think these keys, they're not really meant for resale. You can gift them and whatever, but I don't think they're really for resale. And I think that they're possibly trackable. I'm not really sure on that. I might be just talking out my arse here. But now, wherever they're getting these keys from, whether they're used keys, they've had them themselves and they've just kept them, and whatever things they're doing that means that they don't work after a couple of weeks. However they're doing it, it doesn't really matter. It's not important. It's down to that individual. Yes, it is. That individual is the person that did the scamming. Yes. But G2A.com has put themselves forward as the middleman to deal with that stuff, to protect you, the consumer, from being scammed by that sort of thing. Now, their complete lack of interest in dealing with the situation, when what they should have done is just turn around and said, as I've said before, what they should have done is turn around and said, "You're quite right, sir. Hold on, just need a drink." They should have turned around and said, "You're quite right, sir. That code was revoked. Very sorry, we will deal with the seller. Here is your money. Here is your refund." That's it, job done. If they had done that, this response video would have been up days, hours after the original video saying, "Hey guys, G2A dealt with this situation. Oh my god, they were so wonderful about it. Everything I said in that video, ignore it guys, carry on, buy from G2A. If you have an issue, they will deal with it and they're amazing." No, it just didn't happen. They just didn't deal with it. In terms of them being a middleman, sort of like eBay or Amazon or whatever, as I said, they have a responsibility to deal with it. The legalities of selling on the internet are a little bit hazy because there's no real managing of that going on. There's no real laws on it as such to protect the consumer. And considering that's the way the world is going right now, there's a lot of retail that's dying off on the high street because everyone's buying from the internet. You'd think people had covered that. But either way, they are like a retailer. If you go in a shop and you buy an item and it stops working within a couple of weeks for whatever reason, it's faulty, it's fake, it's a counterfeit, whatever, it is up to that retailer to deal with it, and then to deal with the supplier after they've dealt with you. That is the way the law works in most countries. So that's how G2A should deal with it. And they would have a much happier customer base. Then let's move on to the G2A Shield. The G2A Shield, if you're not aware, which I'm sure you are, because a lot of people who watch this, I think, are people that have had dealings with G2A. Even if they haven't had problems with them, they've had dealings with them. They know what I'm talking about. The G2A Shield is a couple of pound extra when you buy your product and you're buying an insurance to make sure that that game works, etc., etc. Except you're not really. What you're doing is you're buying that and you're saying, you can check my computer at the time to make sure that the game downloads and operates at the time of purchase. But that doesn't say anything about when or if the game is revoked or stops working or whatever several weeks later. It doesn't say any of that whatsoever. It just says at that time, at that very moment in time, we will make sure that that game downloads onto your computer and you can play it there and then. Which brings me to the remote access with the G2A Shield. Now the G2A Shield, when you buy it, which I did, I bought it for Titanfall. I was speaking to the lady. I waited 2 goddamn hours for someone to get onto a live chat. You could have just emailed me that damn key. No, I've got to wait 2 hours for some woman to come onto the live chat and say, okay, click on this site and this will give me remote access to your computer. You what? Remote access to my computer? No, love, I don't think so. I'm not letting anyone touch my computer. I do my banking and stuff on my computer. Why would I want her to have my IP address, to possibly have access to my PC, to my bank details, to my credit card details, to my Steam account, to my Origin account, where she could possibly, I'm not saying she would, but she could possibly use that information to steal from me? No. And that's assuming you even trust the company, which I don't. I don't know G2A. I don't trust them to go into my computer as a company. But even if you did, how do you know that individual is not writing stuff down? Will you die quietly? That damn police. Po. Yeah, how do you know that that person there is not writing down your details to use them when she gets home to steal your stuff? You don't. And that's why Microsoft say don't allow people to get into your computer, because they'll steal your stuff. 4, back onto G2A Shield, for a shield that is PPI. That's effectively what it is. And if you don't know what that is, I'm not sure about whether it happened in other countries, but in the UK, we had, for years, the banks and loan companies, etc., credit card companies, told us we had to have this thing called PPI, which is Payment Protection Insurance. Payment Protection Insurance was exactly what it sounds like. It's an insurance to protect your payments for that particular loan, a credit card, whatever, which you bought on an individual basis. So if you had 2 credit cards, you'd have 2 PPI, one for each of them. You also had a loan, you'd have a loan PPI for that as well. So 3 separate payments for those particular products that you bought. You were convinced at the time when you had your loan, your credit card, whatever, when you went and got that product, you were convinced by the person at the bank or whatever that it was absolutely necessary. If you didn't have it, you would end up losing your home, you would have nowhere to live, your children would die of dysentery, a big foot would come down from the sky and God would squash you because you're not paying your debts. This is that's the way the bank did it. And then within the last couple of years, 4 or 5 years or so, people turned around, the courts turned around and went, hang on, that's not right, you can't do that. And then it was decided if PPI was sold unlawfully, you were entitled to your money back, which technically it was all sold unlawfully, because at no point was it ever explained that if you had life or critical health insurance or whatever, that would cover your PPI. Anywho, you can look that up yourself if you really want to. That's the basics for it in terms of relation to G2A Shield. In the fact that it is completely unnecessary. You do not need G2A Shield because G2A is a retailer. It is it's an entity that has put itself forward. They've done it themselves. They've put themselves forward to say, hey, look, we are here. Sell your stuff through our site as a central eBay type thing, and everything will be fantastic. And they've put themselves in that position. Therefore, they have put themselves in that position to guarantee to the consumer that all products are genuine, all products will work, and all the other guarantees that you would get from a retailer. So therefore the G2A Shield is completely unnecessary as much as it is completely bloody useless. Because, as I say, it only works for when you download the game. Beyond that point, it doesn't do a damn thing. If the game is revoked later, Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't matter whether you bought G2A Shield or not. It doesn't help you. Now, let's get to some of the comments that we've got on that video. A lot of people were talking about Far Cry 4, which I think is why I've had such a big boost in views on the run to Christmas, that their keys were getting revoked left, right and centre. Obviously some people had gotten hold of invalid keys and have done it, and they've had people for that money. G2A, really slow to respond. They're not interested. They're just not interested. It's as simple as that. They want the money and they don't want to deal with the situation that they've done. You've got where do we have? Yeah, a lot of people saying about buying G2A Shield. Well, I've just explained why that's stupid. G2A Shield is basically just to make their money, just for nothing else. Angry Pretzel went on and said, GTR didn't say anything. They're the middleman in the operation. That is absolutely true. You are quite right. I probably bought from a user. I haven't looked back on it, quite honestly. I expect it was a user. But you're saying you wouldn't blame eBay for someone selling you something non-legit on there, would you? Actually, eBay would deal with it, though. If you went to eBay and said, hey, this has gone wrong, this is not a correct product, eBay would deal with it. eBay would refund you and then chase the seller and get the money back off them. And they're insured for that. It's part of their business insurance. They're insured for that. Next time you buy something, make sure it's from G2A, not a user. Yeah, but I won't use them because their customer service is crap, so something else goes wrong. It's not going to happen. Or if you're buying from a user, pay the 76 pence, pound, whatever it is, for the shield. It's worth it. You can get direct refund. If the other user tries to scam you, no, because I did, and then they wanted to get in my computer, so screw that. A lot of people saying that it's taken 4 days to get an answer. People saying use the live chat. But the live chat, you sit there for 2 hours waiting for people to answer you. If I go in live chat, I want to speak to somebody there and then. If I pick the phone up, I hate it. I'm one of those people, I hate it. If you're on there, thank you for waiting. We are trying to, you're in a queue, whatever. Hate it. Hate it. Hate it. People on there crack the nut. G2A, thanks for getting $60 from me for free. There's people on there saying, that's what you get for trying to buy games cheap. You're a cheapskate, and all the rest of it. Well, people do. That's what they do. Just a lot of people on the 180 comments on there. Go back and read them yourself if you like. Yeah, there's that was the other thing I wanted to talk about. Just reminded me. People talking about the fact that there are a lot of YouTubers out there, and I won't name names because that's not fair. They're saying, oh, well, these people, these big YouTubers, these very large, huge amount of subs, huge viewer base, a lot of fans and everything, they endorse them and all the rest of it. No, they don't endorse them. They're sponsored by them. They are not directly paid, because I don't believe that's the way the G2A sponsorship works. I believe it's they've got a seller's site. As it's they're not a seller. If you go through them, they get a certain percentage of game sales. So if you've got a user that's got 1 million, if you've got a YouTuber who's got, just for argument's sake, 1 million subs, and every single sub goes on there and buys something, and they get £1 from each of those sales, from each of those individual people, then that's £1 million for them. That's it's a hell of a lot of money. Even if you get a small percentage on there and they get a few pence of that, whatever, it's still it could be a few £1,000s just for saying to someone, go check out this site, use this promo code, click on this link here to go to the site. When you click on that link, it registers for G2A that you've gone from that link to their site. Any purchases you make from that point on, going through that, will then give them money. But That's not to say that those YouTubers are sold out or any of that crap. If someone turned around to me and said, would you like to do this? As long as I felt that the site was genuine and as long as I felt I was happy for that person to use my name, then I would do it. Not that they would. I've got like 128 subs, so I mean, if that ever happens, it's a long, long way off. So let's face it, I've been for almost a year now, and I've only got like 128 subs. But that's cool. That's not a problem. I'm not in the YouTube game to make money. Anywho, that's beside the point. So these YouTubers that are endorsing the site are doing so because it makes them money. That's fine. Perhaps they even trust the site. They haven't had the issues. My problem was the very first time I ever bought anything, I had an issue with them. And they didn't deal with it in the right way. Anyway, I'm going to leave the video there because it's gone a lot longer than I intended it to. It's supposed to be about 10 minutes long and it's gone over twice that. If you have any other comments, if you want to ask me any questions, please do so in the comment section below. I will try and answer all comments. If I get enough responses, I will do another one of these and I will answer people's comments on there directly. Other than that, thank you so much for listening and watching the background footage of Talisman, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.